One man is growing old and one man is being told that his land is not his own now. He has no place called home. He must learn to be and grow and find time to feed his soul. When he learns to be alone, he will find that he is whole. Gonna break free tonight. Gonna take these chains, gonna make it through the night.
Hello again, everybody. My name is Winifred Adams, and I am the host here at Making Life Brighter and on Voice America for Making Life Brighter Radio as well. I am, as you know, a medical intuitive and a quantum healer and a radio show host. We've been chronicling some of the never before seen interviews that I did back in 2019 with Russell-J. Gould and his then treaty captain, Sergeant Robert Horton. And this latest outtake is very important, I feel, because the closure is first and secondhand. And I think that it gives or lends to who this man really is, and that other people had been involved in trying to bring him forward, and why that would be so important. To have someone who is a Special Forces psychological operations individual moving into position alongside of him, you have to hear this to understand. And I think this is really kind of a compelling historical tale of what actually goes on behind the scenes and what went on behind the scenes and what's going on in the greater narrative, the narrative that you are being kept from. Now, that you've been given closure here since July 11th, 2019 on Making Life Brighter Radio on Voice America. And those archives are still there. You've been given closure here in December with the new film, Piercing Dynasty, and you should watch that if you haven't already. You've been given closure with Last Flag Standing prior to that, and you've been given closure with all the interviews in between that I've done. This is a rare take, a casual take. It was meant for information gathering. It was to be sort of like a, hey, you know, give me more closure on what this is. So when we do set up to do the interview, I'll have more information of which I can draw upon. In the meantime, I can digest this very broad subject, because Russell-J. Gould, Russell-J. Gould, changed every single system on planet Earth for the benefit of the people. And the deep state families, the dark cabal, including the politicians that are still in office today, all of them are keeping that from you. And there is a very large slush fund to make sure that happens. Why would that be? Why would people come along and say, oh, that man, he's never won anything in court. It doesn't show. Well, you're going to get more closure on that today. You're going to hear things here that you've never heard before. And I think this is vitally important, because ignorance is no longer bliss. And ignorance could even mean destruction at this point in time. If you aren't taking seriously the closure that's being given to you or put in front of you, then maybe you don't even deserve that closure. It's here on a platter, and it's been here for you to digest and work with. And I really recommend that you take this to heart and listen to it. So without further ado, here was my very casual outtake with Sergeant Horton that had a few drinks before he talked to me. And that made it a very interesting conversation, but nonetheless, the information is there. So I want you to see this and take it in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And if you do care about yourself and your country, take to heart that there are avenues of closure for you that have already been set in motion. And all the characters you see on TV know it. So Tucker Carlson, you are a hypocrite, and anyone out there can tell him I said that. I'm happy to come on his show and give him closure. But Russell-J-Gould had his team reach out to him, and he didn't take that. Yet last night he's talking about all the fraud and the terrible things that this party is doing and that party is doing. Closure is sitting in front of you, Tucker. And if you don't have the balls to man up to put that out on the air, here you go, guys. Take a listen, and I'll be curious what you think. Thank you for listening.
Right? But there's really not. There's just not. It all needs to be reconstituted.
Right. And how it gets reconstituted is requiring what exactly? The president's okay?
No.
The citizens.
Russell. And the citizens have to ask, hey, we want this and that. Well, Russell is the sovereign, right? So the citizens have to they have to recognize the fact that there's a new sovereign in the world, and the old sovereign is disqualified. So the King of Great Britain is no longer the king, the reigning sovereign in the world. Mm-hmm. Russell is. So they have to say, we want this sovereign to represent us in international affairs in relation to commerce with the rest of the world, because his contracts are correct, his elemental chart and periodic table are correct. Everything else was fucking fake and fraud and bullshit for the last how many years? We're not asking for the arrest of these people, because they did the best they could with what they had at their disposal to try to create what they wanted to create. But there's bad guys within that system that are trying to create a one world, new world order, global government with a dictator at the top. That's all fucking ended. Right? So people have to say, fuck you. If it's not in quantum, fuck off. We know what happened. We understand that there is no U.S. Constitution. The King of Great Britain is not the king anymore. The King of Spain is not a king anymore. The King of France is not a king anymore. There are no more monarchs. Russ took command and control of the entire planet. And a quantum concept.
And the Queen acknowledged that.
Oh, absolutely. Queen of England said, Russell, Commander-in-Chief, and she called him. She said, Global Commander-in-Chief Russell J. Gould, is how she addressed him, is the only person with any authorization to move any real values of any kind onto a banking platform. And it has to be his banking platform, because he's the only one with a banking platform that has not been tainted with fraud and criminality. Everyone else has been caught with fraud and criminality. He's got the only clean banking system on planet Earth, she said.
So then was she admitting to fraud and criminality through her system?
I'm not sure if she was admitting to fraud and criminality. Like I said, they were working with the best they had at their disposal at the time, right? They were, maybe they were trying to. Maybe the Queen of England was a good girl, and trying to do the best for her people in Great Britain and the UK and stuff. But the system they were utilizing, once disqualified, and they realized it was disqualified for the reasons it was disqualified for, she gets it. She's like, fucking A. They're right.
She admits to seeing this for what it really is and what you're saying.
Absolutely. All of them do. All of them see this for what it is. They understand the biblical prophecy that was just fulfilled by Commander-in-Chief Russell J. Gould across the board. But the U.S., even like the head of U.S. Secret Service, right, told Dave and Russ, and I've heard it from several other locations too, the American fucking people are too goddamn stupid to understand this, let alone believe it. They don't understand all this stuff. Yeah, and they never will, because there's not enough information out there. They don't have enough education to wrap their heads around it, to allow themselves to wrap their heads around it. They just don't have the fucking education. And that's where the failure of the educational system here in the United States sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, I think that on that note, we'll call it a wrap for now. And we need to explore this some more as to how that might be implemented or come to pass.
Yeah. All right, cool. I just want to, I'm buzzing, bro. I was drinking some brews. I'm like talking with the guys. I'm like, fuck, I totally forgot to tell her about the military stuff. And oh my God.
Some more compelling information, for everyone. I hope this has helped you. I hope it will continue to help you. And I hope that you'll take to heart that there was one man brave enough to take the beating for you, to take the starvation and unravel a secret system that's been put into place by the Masons, by the cabal, by the dirty people in this world that like to contract you into slavery. And he corrected it. Can't wait till after the fact. Here's your closure now. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again really soon. Go Jolly, everyone.
One man is growing old and one man is being told that his land is not his own now. He has no place called home. He must learn to be and grow and find time to feed his soul.